All right, welcome back to the deep dive.
Good to be here.
It is a really nice Thursday, and today we are tackling a source with, I think, the most provocative title we have ever
I
seen.
think you might be right.
It's called AI is Destroying the University, and your degree might be worthless.
Yeah, that title is definitely designed to get a click, but the insights inside are, they're pretty critical.
Right.
So our mission today is really to cut through the panic, pull out the key systemic issues this document is highlighting, and then figure out what students and institutions can actually do about this.
Absolutely. We're going slide by slide through this darkly humorous take on academia's current meltdown. And look, if you find this breakdown useful, and honestly, this stuff is vital, whether you're a student, an educator, or even just managing recent grads, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Like the episode. It helps.
It really does. So let's start with a foundational question, one I want you to just keep in the back of your mind as we go through this.
Yeah?
Are we using AI as a tutor, a tool to help us understand things more deeply, or are we using it as a ghostwriter, just a shortcut to avoid the work?
That's the question.
So let's jump in. The source calls this first part the AI apocalypse of academia.
And it sets up this perfect vicious cycle. It's fascinating because it's not just a student problem, and it's not just a faculty problem.
Both sides.
It's a symbiotic breakdown. So students figure out, hey, I can outsource my essay to ChatGPT.
Right.
I can get my code written. It's efficient.
Right. Maximize the grade, minimize the effort.
And then on the other side of the desk, you have professors who are already, completely overworked. They're juggling research, endless meetings, massive class sizes.
Oh, yeah.
And they start to realize, wait a minute, I can outsource all this tedious grading and feedback to AI bots.
So they're meeting AI fire with AI fire.
Precisely. The cycle just completes itself. Robots are teaching, robots are learning, and the only human input is like the initial prompt and then entering the final grade.
And the source warns that the degree itself, the 4-year degree, is at risk of becoming, what was the phrase?
As meaningful as a participation trophy from third-grade soccer.
Wow.
Because the actual intellectual work is just being hollowed out.
It's a cynical picture. So, who's actually winning in this scenario? If the students get hollow credentials and the professors are just managing bots.
The document is very, very clear on this. The only ones truly benefiting.
Let me guess.
The tech giants. They are laughing all the way to the bank. The source even throws in a cha-ching.
Of course they do.
And it's not just about selling licenses. They are locking in future market share. They're making schools completely dependent on their closed systems. And, they're turning the entire student body into this giant free beta testing group.
That puts all the institutional spending we're about to talk about in a much sharper context.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's unpack how the institutions reacted, because when this all first hit, faculty didn't just jump straight to outsourcing. They went through these almost tragic comic phases.
That's right. The source calls it the shift from blue books to bot books, and it happened so fast. Phase 1 was just pure, unadulterated panic.
Right.
Faculty meetings just became how to catch AI cheaters 101. Everyone was scrambling, focusing on detection tools, watermarks, just this general sense of existential dread about the death of the essay.
He was all about containment, like AI was a virus.
Yes.
Yeah.
The focus was entirely on prohibition, on policing, this idea that using AI was fundamentally a moral failure by the student.
But then came the plot twist, phase 2.
The whiplash was incredible.
It's like someone in central administration read a single McKinsey report that said AI is the future, and they realized panic is just not great for the brand.
And suddenly the exact same professors who were just mourning the essay are rebranding themselves instantly.
AI ready at
Techie, future-focused innovators. It was a pivot born out of a fear of being seen as irrelevant or, being an obstacle to progress.
Which, according to the source, leads directly and cynically into phase 3.
The grift.
The grift.
And this is where you see all these workshops popping up, building AI skills for tomorrow's workforce. And the source points out that these are conveniently timed with massive budget cuts that are slashing actual faculty jobs.
Well, so the narrative becomes about adopting shiny, expensive new tech while the actual human infrastructure is crumbling.
And that brings us to a perfect case study that illustrates this hypocrisy. You really have to follow the money here. We're talking about the California State University System, CSU.
The CSU case is wild.
It's crucial because it's like a magic trick, a sleight of hand.
Yeah.
CSU, which serves almost 500,000 students, announces this huge, splashy partnership with OpenAI.
The stated goal being to empower students.
Right, a $17 million bet on the future.
17 million. Okay.
Yeah.
But the reality check the source provides is pretty stark.
Because at the same time, that same system was going through massive institutional disinvestment. They were laying off faculty. They were cutting arts and humanities programs. Class sizes were ballooning.
So we're talking hundreds of millions in cuts happening at the exact same time as this expensive, high-profile tech deal.
Exactly. It suggests the 17 million was less about genuine educational improvement and maybe more about humor.
It's a good story. We're innovating.
It's a great story. And it masks the fact that you are shrinking the human part of the education.
Yeah.
The money flows to marketable tech,
Yeah.
not to smaller class sizes or more mentorship.
So this brings up a really important question for you, for anyone listening.
Yeah.
When you see a big institution roll out some new tech, how much of that is genuine empowerment versus just crisis management, just optics? That ratio tells you everything.
And now we have to look at the human cost of all this,
Yeah.
shifting from the institution down to the individual student.
Right.
The source includes this one quote from a college senior
Yeah.
that is just, it's devastating.
I remember this one. The student said, "My grades have never been better. My brain has never been mushier."
Ooh, it just captures the whole irony
Oh.
perfectly.
Yeah.
The metrics of success, the A's, the GPA, they're all going up.
But while the actual learning, the real intellectual challenge is just plummeting.
It's the ultimate academic irony. And the skills that get eroded are the ones you actually need for your career, for life.
Things like
Building an argument from scratch, having patience with a really complex problem, just pure intellectual stamina. Those are the first things to go.
that patience with complexity is so key. The frustrating part of writing a paper, wrestling with sources for hours, that's where the learning happens.
Exactly. And if AI just serves up the answer instantly, you skip that whole process. You get the grade, but you don't get the pride, you don't get the cognitive benefit of the struggle.
But the source offers this really important perspective shift here. It says AI isn't the core villain.
No, it's just the accelerant. The document argues AI is a symptom, not the disease. The real enemy, they say, came before AI.
Which is?
Our fractured attention spans, our, societal addiction to instant gratification.
And they trace this directly back to how platforms have rewired our brains.
It's the mechanism of modern media, right? Our attention has been hijacked by TikTok, Instagram, endless scrolling. We're trained to expect a little dopamine hit every 15 seconds.
We've eliminated boredom, which is where deep thought comes from.
So when your brain is conditioned for that, what happens when you face something actually hard? Like a dense academic text or a 20-page paper.
That slow, frustrating work suddenly feels unbearable.
And AI becomes this irresistible escape hatch. It's the perfect instant solution for a brain that's already been trained to run away from difficulty.
So if that's the underlying problem, the dilemma for teachers becomes huge. I mean, how do you even structure a class? Is AI a tool or is it a Trojan horse?
And the source makes this really vital distinction between the good use and the bad use.
Okay.
So on the good side, you have AI as a learning amplifier. These are students using it like a super tutor.
So generating practice tests?
Or asking it to explain, I don't know, quantum entanglement 10 different ways until an analogy finally clicks. They're using it to go deeper.
They're using it for learning velocity, not to substitute the output.
Exactly. But then the bad side is the learning shortcut. It's just copy-paste culture. Why read the book when the chatbot can summarize it and then write the analysis for you?
And that leads directly to those hollow credentials we were talking about.
Right. And it creates this impossible trap for educators. If you crack down too hard, students just go underground with it.
But if you accept it completely, the quality of learning just craters. The source says there's no easy answer yet.
The real challenge isn't detection anymore, it's assignment design. You have to create tasks where the human input is more valuable than what an algorithm can produce.
Which I think brings us to a really personal question for everyone listening, and it ties right into that. In your own work or your own learning, where do you draw the line between using AI for efficiency and just outsourcing your core thinking? That line is the most important boundary.
And zooming back out, this challenge isn't just about assignments. It's an existential crisis for the university as a whole. The source says faculty are facing this deep fear of irrelevance.
Right, because under the old model, the pre-digital model, professors were the gatekeepers of knowledge.
Information was scarce. The university controlled access. That's what gave them their authority.
But AI just shatters that value proposition.
It makes specialized knowledge instant, abundant, conversational. So the student can now ask, if AI explains this better and faster than my 8 a.m. lecture, why do I need the professor?
That is the ultimate existential question. The job can't be just delivering content anymore. That knowledge is free now.
And what's fascinating is that the challenge isn't to fight the tech. It's to redefine what human teaching actually offers that's unique.
The authority has to shift from content delivery to what? Mentorship, ethical reasoning?
All of that. And guiding students through the complexity of contradictory information.
Otherwise, as the source warns, universities just become really expensive credential mills for knowledge that's already free online.
They'd be selling a diploma, not an education. The value has to be in the stuff AI can't replicate. Critical judgment, genuine creativity, and that community-based collaboration.
So, how do we survive this AI university meltdown? Thankfully, the source does provide 4 pretty concrete, actionable lessons.
Yeah, for students, for educators, and for the institutions themselves.
Let's start with lesson 1, which is for the student.
This one's simple, but it's hard to do. Embrace AI as an aid, not a cheat code. Use it to check your thinking, refine your arguments, explore ideas faster. But the final work, the final synthesis, that has to be yours.
Okay, lesson 2 is for educators. Design AI-resistant assignments. We have to move past the standard essay that just summarizes a textbook.
The task has to require something personal. Personal insight, lived experience, or synthesizing ideas in a totally new way.
Or something like an in-class presentation where you have to defend your ideas in real time.
Right. For example, instead of just analyzing a historical event, you ask students to apply that historical lesson to a current local political debate and defend their recommendation. AI can't do that yet.
Lesson 3 is universal, and I think it's the most important one. Build critical thinking muscles.
This is the skill AI cannot replicate. It can't do genuine creativity or deep ethical reasoning or combine totally disparate ideas into some new original insight.
That has to be the core of the new curriculum, teaching people how to think, not just what to know.
And finally, lesson 4 is for the institutions themselves. Rethink institutional value.
The whole value proposition needs to shift away from just grades and rote tasks and toward, high-touch mentorship, building a real intellectual community, and fostering deep growth.
You're paying for the network and the guidance, not the information.
In the end, the source concludes that AI is really just a mirror. It's reflecting everything that was already kind of broken in higher education.
The obsession with credentialism over actual understanding, student disengagement.
Right. The crisis is real, but so is the opportunity here. A chance to use this pressure to rebuild a system that focuses on deeper, more meaningful learning.
The key, as the document says, is to stop panicking and policing the tech and start teaching students how to think with AI, not just through it.
It seems like the future really depends on cultivating human curiosity, creativity, critical thinking, all the things an algorithm can't do.
Because if education just becomes about getting a pre-written answer or an automated grade, we've already lost, AI or not. The value is in the struggle, not the solution.
A really challenging thought to close on. We encourage you to take these lessons and apply them wherever you are, and maybe try to write your next email without any algorithmic help.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah, and if you found value in this conversation, please hit that like and subscribe button. Continue the exploration with us. We'll see you next time.